Hello guys, Arcane here. I just want to take some time to tell you guys that we have a Patreon set up for the channel. It's an additional way you can support us. So I will put the link in the YouTube cards and in the description. Thanks for checking it out and I hope you enjoyed the video. I left Gahel behind and stepped out of the shop. After stocking up on plenty of jerky and dried fruits at the grocery store, I stopped by the mercenary guild to check for any new information or updated maps of the dungeon. There wasn't much, just some occasional reports of energy waves inside the dungeon. It's akin to popping bubbles caused by shifting mana flows within the dungeon. It can lead to mana backflow, but that seems unlikely. I headed back to the store, double-checking in my head to make sure I didn't forget anything else. Turning right at the mercenary guild, I saw a crowd gathered. Amidst severely broken tree fragments and fruits rolling on the ground, there were guards with spears and a few angry people visible through the gaps. Clearly something significant had happened. I felt bad for the fruit vendor, but the block street was frustrating. This street leads directly to my shop. Taking a detour would mean winding through back alleys. Decide to push through despite the hassle or choose the longer route through the alleyway. Does this matter? Let me think about it. Okay, I don't know. So, let's try to see. Let's just explore and see if it's, like if there's a bad event or whatever. I decided to push through the crowd. Excuse me, just passing through. Eek! Squeezing through the onlookers, it felt almost suffocating. Struggling through the crowd, I exerted extra effort to keep my bag secure. How is this my fault? So it's my responsibility? After making it past the noisy street, I felt drained. I took a deep breath, regained my composure, and walked towards the shop. Okay, so that was quick. So let's see what happens if we go through the long route. Choose the longer route through the alleyway. Oh, so there's a cutscene. To avoid the congestion, I entered an alleyway. As expected, the back alleys were dimly lit despite the midday sun, giving an overall dark feel. Walking in the quiet alley, my footsteps sounded unusually loud. You hear an odd noise between your steps. It was like the sound of something sticky being slapped. As I concentrated on the sound, I could pinpoint its direction. Turning right off my path, the sound grew louder. What is happening? Oh, what is this? Ha! This time it's mixed in with someone's groan. Oh, is someone, jerking it off also here? Oh, okay. So this is the view that we'll be seeing because we took a detour. Okay guys, seeing as this is another Shmekshisheen, I will not be able to fully narrate this part on YouTube, but I will provide some previews along the way, and then after I will give a summary of what happened. So see you in a bit. Okay, so Elred is getting busy with some muscular guy over here. Elred noticed Resque. Oh my gosh. Elred is now looking at us. Elred is now looking at the main character. Decide to quickly leave the scene or opt to continue observing. Of course, we shall opt to continue observing. Elred affinity changes. I nodded, mesmerized. Elred smirked and flicked his tongue. Okay, so this shows that Elred is getting busy. He's sweating. And there's a preview of his big inside the black wolf here. He briefly arched his back and then reached for something small from the armor scattered on the ground. In Elred's hand was a bottle of herb oil. Of course, it's the herb oil that we gave to him. Is that the one I gave him? I didn't give it to him for this. Okay, and now it showed that Elred has climaxed. There's a X-ray view inside the Black Wolf showing there's lots of tiger cream. He has erupted. Elred's throbbed, spewing a torrent of crushed against it. The wolf began to as well. Okay, and now it shows that Elred's cream has filled the Black Wolf and it is now spilling out of his But okay, and Elred is looking at Resque, eye to eye. Okay, and now there's a close-up view of Elred's, and there's some cream dripping from it. The show is not over. Will you join us? A pair of eyes, burning with desire, gaze at me. Okay, so quick summary of what they did. So, Resque found Elred in the back alley, doing some black wolf guy, and then Elred noticed Resque, and Elred started pumping and pumping at the black wolf, and eventually he climaxed after so many pumping motions. And now, after Elred was finished, I think he's inviting Resque to join him. So let's see. Choose to refuse. Oh, how come we cannot join? So we can only refuse. I shake my head in refusal. Elred, momentarily baffled, flashes a mischievous smile and speaks again. Instead, how about we go somewhere quiet? I'm a little busy today. I blurt out any excuse, eager to escape. Even if I weren't, I had no intention of engaging in a fire escapade with Elred. Oh, so that's why there's no choice to engage with him. So funny that I was ready to engage and Resque isn't. I have no intention of dating Elred. This kind of flirting is utterly preposterous. Okay. Yes, that's very nice, Resque. You know your worth. Whatever, I need to get going. I left the two naked males alone and turned toward the store. I felt eyes on the back of my head, but I ignored them. Okay, we've got a nice view of Elred here in his full glory. As Resque faded from view, Elred's face turned gradually blank. The wolf, still reeling from the afterglow of the climax, asks hesitantly, Sir Elred? As usual, he interjected to continue the unfinished business, but Elred had already picked up the armor from the floor. Then the wolf spoke again, and Elred's has deflated. The view earlier was that his was erect. There are still 2 or 3 more. Elred interrupted him with a firm voice. Cease. That's enough for today. The low, serious voice of Knight Elred, a different cadence than usual, rang out. Elred lets out a heavy sigh mixed with self-reproach, hastily donning his armor. Damn. Lately, Elred seems troubled by his own actions, unable to understand himself. Emerging from the alley, I find myself on familiar streets, somehow managing to reach the shop in this chaotic state. So, was what I saw earlier real? Finally, I've arrived at the shop. Resque. Huh? Gahel, are you already done preparing? Already? It's been quite a while. As Gahel leads me inside, I realize it's already past 2 p.m. Yes, you've spent some time, watching 2 dudes getting busy in the back alley. I've never had such a hectic day. It was a good decision to close the shop for a day to prepare. The preparations are almost complete. I just finished sharpening the swords at the forge. I must prepare food in the map. My mind keeps drifting back to what I saw today. A meaty pillar in Gahel's hand, a thick glance in Elred's. It was a sight so unbelievable, even though I saw it with my own eyes. I never thought I'd see that on the back alley. I think Elred wins for thickness, but Gahel wins for length. No, what the hell am I thinking? Trying to regain my focus, I take some items out of my bag to organize them. I'm so hungry. I haven't even had lunch yet. Maybe I should eat some bread. Should I get out some cheese? Yes. I say a bit too loudly, my voice awkwardly cracking. To hide my embarrassment, I gulp down some cold water. After a deep breath, I feel a bit calmer. After lunch, I talk to Gahel about the dungeon. We should be a bit cautious of the energy waves. True, but they are still quite weak. We can quickly go and return tomorrow. Gahel didn't argue with my words, but his expression was still one of concern. It's not until the next day, when I entered the dungeon, that I bitterly realized how naive my thoughts were. Chapter 2. Dungeons are spaces exhibiting a strange harmony, as if two different areas have been forcefully melded together. The walls were speckled with fungi of all shapes and hues, and growing over them in irregular patterns were moss that glowed faintly with the mana it held within. There are also the occasional traces of monsters and the remnants of other adventurers' campsites. What makes a dungeon different from a cave is that mana sets it in motion. The dungeon itself breathes as if it's a living animal. Not a moment goes by without the space shifting slightly, and the parts of the wall seem to come alive and squirm. Okay, he's looking around. Gahel and I walked cautiously, quietly registering this bizarre landscape. I always say this, but the dungeon's interior is a strange place. It's like crawling into the intestines of a creature stitched together from multiple organs. Okay, I wonder what this book thing is. Oh, yeah, so it's the characters. Yes, I just want to check it out real quick. Resque is... Oh, what's this? He's age 24. We don't know the species. He's a merchant. 2 meters, 3 centimeters, 105 kilograms. Zodiac Aquarius, birthday February 1st. Like, we don't know. Dislike, we don't know. About nothing. Okay. How about Gahel? Gahel is 23 years old. He's a wolf. And he's a mercenary, 2 meters, 15 centimeters, 146 kilograms. He's a Sagittarius, born on December 13th. We also don't know his likes and dislikes. Nothing in his about yet. Elred. The picture is locked. Elred Malleus Panthera. He's 38. He's a tiger, a knight commander, 2 meters, 31 centimeters, 183 kilograms. He's a Virgo. He is born on September 12th. We don't know his likes and dislikes. Also know about yet. Bato. Oh, we haven't met this guy. Bato Bustum Ulsa. He's 21. He's a bear and a mage. 1 meter 92 centimeters, 217 kilograms. He's Aries, born on April 4th. Of course, we haven't met him yet, so nothing there. Ryoho. Ryoho is over 380 years old. Wow. He's a dragon and a shaman. He's 2 meters 11 centimeters tall, 196 kilograms, a Libra, born on September 26th, and we don't know yet his likes and dislikes. Okay, how about information? No information yet. Achievements. Character, we can't click on achievements yet. Okay. Gahel seemed to ponder Resque's words for a moment, then replied solemnly. Intestines, you say? A horrid analogy, but an undeniable one. We quickened our pace on our pursuit of a mana herb. We had to travel roughly halfway into the dungeon to scan as much ground as possible. Upon following the map and reaching a clearing, I prepared a spatial detection spell. A cluster of blue light slowly emanated from Resque's body, repelling the darkness and exuding a mysterious radiance. This mana stared at my feet and fluttered like a leaf floating down a stream before seeping into the ever-changing depths of the dungeon. Although the place kept silent as if holding its breath minus the sound of my breathing and Gahel warding our surroundings, the dungeon I felt through the strands of mana felt as riotous as inside of a crowded tavern. Cross-examining the dungeon pictured on the map in my hand in the dungeon, I felt through the detection magic. I spoke to Gahel. It looks like we've got this. It's just as the map says. The fountain is to the east, and the monster-ridden path it really is to the west too. The mana herbs are in the northwest. As soon as I finished speaking, I folded the map of the dungeon and tucked it in my pocket. Gahel, who had been silently watching our surroundings, nodded. Walking along the quiet dungeon path, Gahel spoke up, seemingly curious about the detection magic I had used earlier. I heard mages who can trace various pieces of information with detection magic are hard to come by. That was impressive. You've seen me do it last time we went dungeon diving. Any reason you bring it up now? Back then, I suppose it was just an elementary surface tracking spell. I've been told most mages are able to track only a specific target because the sheer amount of information that comes with understanding the entirety of a space can be overwhelming. He continued, seemingly intrigued. I thought you were tracking just the mana herbs, but you were precisely reading the spatial information of the entire dungeon with the detection spell. I now see that you're no ordinary mage. Resque, with a slightly embarrassed smile, responded, Haha, it's only natural that a mercenary mage would specialize in combative elemental magic, after all. I bet the official mages of the magic tower could do the same without breaking a sweat. They could probably find a lost coin on the other side of the city. Gahel's eyes still shone, seemingly thinking Resque was remarkable. You got the magic tower's notary for your healing potions too. Did you receive training at the magic tower? If that were the case, the proof of identity I submitted when we signed our contract would have said I was a mage, not a merchant, right? If I were to enter the magic tower, I'd have to pass a highly competitive exam, and only from then onwards will the tremendous amount of money I'd need to become a formal mage become a problem. I neither have that much talent nor money. I got the healing potion notarized with the help of an acquaintance at the magic tower. Gahel expressed doubt at Resque's answer. Then how did you learn magic? I had a master when I was young. He was quite the eccentric dragon beastman. Gahel looked at Resque in surprise for a moment. From just one master? Was it the master was extraordinary? Or... Then, about your acquaintance at the magic tower. His name is Bato. I didn't learn magic from him. I first met him around the time I opened my shop. I walked and chatted with Gahel about Bato, the bear beastman. His job at the magic tower is policing unlicensed activities like forbidden magic, and he stopped by to inspect my shop when it newly opened. Naturally, there were no issues with my shop, but there was an incident where Bato suddenly became unconscious, and I received the magic tower notary document for helping him. The leisurely chatter didn't last long. After defeating a few wandering low-level monsters, we arrived at a colony of mana herbs. The densely flourishing verdure unfurled so lushly that it made one's mouth water at the thought of turning them into profitable potions. Of course, if I harvested all of them, they might not have grown back the time I return, so I should take only about half. I took out a specialized pouch to start harvesting the herbs. Ask him to gather herbs together, or ask him to keep watch? Is there a difference? I think we should ask him to help. Gahel understanding changes. Want to try harvesting them, Gahel? It's easier than you think. How do I harvest them? I demonstrated in front of Gahel, who leaned in to help. Wrap the root ends with mana to prevent wilting and ensure the stems don't break when you pull. It's more about dexterity than magical affinity. I cannot manipulate mana like that. I've received a procedure. Huh? Oh, I see. It's common practice to engrave magical formulas on one's body in the world of a mercenary where physical strength is everything. Magic such as materializing sword slashes or deflecting incoming strikes become possible through training if one has the talent. But for a mercenary, it's more efficient to attain them quickly and easily through magical procedures. Of course, such procedures aren't all powerful. It seems Gahel can only use formulas that absorb mana to strengthen his muscles. This might take some time, so keep an eye on our surroundings for now. Phew, this should be enough, right? As Resque filled the pouch with carefully picked herbs, Gahel watched over Resque, occasionally slashing at approaching bat monsters. Resque stretched, unwinding his stiff muscles. Let's head out now. Wait, something's not right. Gahel closely observed the monsters in the distance. Although they weren't yet in striking distance, Gahel watched the direction monsters came from and came to a conclusion. A passage that wasn't there before has appeared. Meaning the dungeon has shifted. I'll use a detection spell real quick. I used a simplified version of the detection spell I casted before we entered, focusing only on the surrounding areas. Looks like a blocked-off wall has opened. Wait, that's a lot of monsters. It seems that the opening connected the area to a previously isolated, undetectable room full of monsters. We need to escape quickly. Yow! Bestial monsters made threatening sounds as they rushed towards us. It seems that other monsters became alerted by the noise as well. Gahel and I ran through another passage to escape. However, we were met with monsters on the other side as well. Humph. Gahel charged forward, skillfully slashing through the bestial monsters that charged towards his horn first. Resque, frantically following Gahel, looked behind him to see monsters swarming in the darkness. Resque, watch out! Ah! I ducked and rolled, narrowly avoiding sharp poison darts aimed at my head. The trembling of the air I felt through my hair made my skin crawl. Gahel split a grotesque mask in two and sprinted towards me, legs taut with muscles. There are too many. Should we break through and make a run for it? Damn, looks like we've got no other choice. It was an abnormal occurrence for such powerful monsters to appear in a difficulty level low dungeon. There was no time to make speculations. What we needed to do to survive was act. Some monsters don't rely on sight, so smoke bombs won't work. To safely clear a path, we need to lure the monsters away from us as much as possible. To do that... Thinking quickly, I touched Gahel's sword. Blood droplets formed on my fingertips, cut by the sharp blade. What are you? Run to your left. I'll follow right behind. Gahel hesitated for a moment, but soon understood and cast a sharp gaze towards the monsters. Now! At Resque's shout, Gahel dashed leftwards like lightning. Simultaneously, Resque infused mana into the blood and scattered it in the air. This will lure some monsters that can track mana. I followed Gahel with all the strength my legs could muster. Turn right up ahead. While cutting down monsters, Gahel checked periodically if Resque was following safely. As we sharply turned right, the number of pursuing monsters significantly reduced. However, my breathing soon became more labored, and I felt I was nearing my physical limits. To catch our breath, we had to find somewhere to hide from the monsters, even for just a moment. Resque! Huh? Gahel pushed Resque to the side. Oh! Gahel! Dark blood dripped from Gahel's arm. A thorn shot by a monster had deeply penetrated his muscle, causing him to grimace in intense pain. The rapidly spreading poison turned his forearm skin purple, blood bubbling and spurting from the wound. Despite the pain, Gahel forcefully slashed a nearby monster and kicked its body over to obstruct the approaching ones. Seizing the opportunity, Resque rummaged through the bag for a healing potion. Right, I have this. I quickly took out a special healing potion and applied it directly to the wound. The red liquid surging with magical power covered the wound and healed him instantly. His wound faded away as if time had been rewound. I was relieved that I had brought the potion along. Gahel affinity changes. With a relieved expression, Gahel moved his arm to check its condition. There's no pain at all. This potion is incredible. Huh? What was that? It felt like there was an explosion of magical waves just now. The flow of magical energy that streamed against the ordinary tide raised the hairs on the back of my neck. For the time being, I threw several magic missiles to prevent the monsters from getting close while Gahel got back to his feet. The idea was not to inflict critical damage on the monsters, but to scatter them haphazardly to impede their movement. Suddenly, Gahel let out a pained groan. Oh, quickly, run. What? What do you mean? Get away from me. Get out of here first. Quickly. Grrr. Oh, what is happening to Gahel? Gahel pushed me away with a force incomparable to before, making my back throb as if I've been beaten up. As I fell to the ground, I saw Gahel writhe in agony for some unknown reason. The magical energy around Gahel was warping and being sucked into him. Moreover, his eyes were changing to a strange color. Could it be a mana rampage? Since Gahel handles magic power, overexerting could cause such symptoms. However, it would be normal for a mercenary like him to be physically drained if he overexerted to that extent. Until just now, Gahel's breathing is controlled like that of a skilled swordsman. It seems like the mana rampage is happening for some other reason. I could see Gahel's muscles writhing uncontrollably. If he uses magic to enhance his muscles, a mana rampage would manifest in such a form. The trade-off for such overwhelming power is that he cannot stop for even a moment. It all felt like my fault. Guilt weighed heavily on me. Gahel gripped his twin swords so tightly I thought they might break, and glared at the horde of monsters with blood-red eyes. It seemed he would rather kill all the monsters rather than risk hurting me while we escaped together. Even if Gahel is strong, can he really fight properly in such a state?
I will definitely return for you.
His voice was filled with firm determination. After saying that, Gahel suddenly accelerated his movements, charging at the monsters at the speed of lightning. I left Gahel, who was getting further away, behind and looked for a way out as he would want me to. Before we end the video, I would like to give a massive thank you to our patrons. Your support means more than the world to us. It means the galaxy to us. And a special shout out to AGN for becoming a Lightfall associate. Thank you so much. Check out patreon.com/arcandray07 to be a patron today. Ciao!